Saturday Social is powered by EA Sports FIFA 23 with PlayStation.
Right, we've got the Saturday Social board out. First time this season we've
Finally.
had our prop out. So we're going to have a little bit of fun this week because the transfer window slams shut. I believe it's 11 o'clock. Well, it is 11 o'clock next Thursday. So not long left for clubs to do their business. So what we've done is we've tasked our two guests, because they're both very knowledgeable football guests, as we know. We've tasked them to pick one player that each Premier League club needs to sign before the end of the window to make a difference to their club.
Yeah.
So they've got a magnet in front of them, one club per each player. Now, you're going to debate which one should go on the board, and me and Joe are going to decide who goes on the board based on the best argument put forward. They both look quite nervous for this.
Yeah,
I like
they
it.
do. They do. Well, let's crack straight on. Shall we do it alphabetical? We're going to have each of your suggestions for Arsenal to start with. So, Pi, who are you suggesting for Arsenal? And James, who are you suggesting?
Right, so I went for Tonali.
Yeah,
was my suggestion for Arsenal. Mainly based on the fact that with their kind of midfield position, they like passing football. The way they're playing at the moment, very good. I thought great passer of the ball, sort of defensive midfielder, but also ability going forward as well. That is why I went for.
I really like Sandro Tonali, so you have to do well to up it.
Hello, a great player, great choice. Wrong club. We'll see him a little bit later on.
Oh,
the right club for him is a little bit later on because Champions League football, he's not going to be going to Arsenal. That's Europa League. That's a step backwards. So, Yuri Tillemans stepping forwards here. Now, there are loads of Arsenal options. There's loads of options. So many that I've done my own video, which will be on YouTube tomorrow. Yuri Tillemans, last year of his contract, I think you probably get a decent fee for him. Amazing player. I think they need that style of player, that sort of number 8. Xhaka has been great for them, but I think they can have that little bit more depth. And I think Tillemans, if Arsenal get him, then they're frightening already. But that depth and quality would be huge for them.
Why do you think they haven't moved for him? Because he's available quite cheap. He's been available all summer.
Because I think that there's, the deadline's there for a reason, and I think that pressure builds, and the closer you get to it, both Leicester going, well, no, we do actually still want to get as much money as possible, but you've got to sort of stay strong. There's a lot of posturing that goes on. And for Arsenal, same on the other side of it, because he is in the last year of his contract and you could get him for, free in a year's time. So that's the thing, I think. And that's why deadline day will probably be great this year, because there's so many of those guys.
It's interesting at the two, isn't it? Because Tonali signed a 5-year contract in July 2021. He's a big Milan fan as well. Tillemans, I think James made a good point there. It is available relatively cheap because of there's less time left on his contract and he's Premier League proven. So you think that Arsenal may be able to pick him up for cheaper. It's interesting to see what Leicester are doing, though, because obviously they're losing a lot of players. There's not a lot of time to bring in replacements. What are you thinking out of the two, then?
Some good arguments. I think based on the fact that he's got 1 year left on his deal and he has already actually been linked, I think we'll go simple with Yuri Tillemans.
I also think that's more realistic for Arsenal to get over the line. So we'll give James the first one.
We're going five rows of 4,
right,
James.
Well, how do we feel about that?
Awful.
No,
Joe hates that. It really winds Joe up.
Joe, breathe. Remember your breathing.
Right,
I'll pop him in.
No, that doesn't work. On the left-hand side, slightly in the middle. Let's get Pi to put them on.
Here we go. Where are we going? Up here?
Yeah,
no, a bit further across, a bit further down.
Yeah.
There. Right, we need to move on. Aston Villa, what are you going with?
Shall I go first?
Yeah, you can this time,
I've gone for someone who is super important to Brighton, but I feel like Aston Villa need a leader. Lewis Dunk, 72% of his aerial duels he wins. He's a beast. Scores goals as well. Brighton play out from the back. His passing's fantastic as well. 30, so he's someone who, with Premier League proven, will come straight into that Aston Villa team who need centre-backs because Diego Carlos is, of course, now injured. Sign him up. It's the obvious choice. There is no other choice.
Yeah, plays a lot of football, doesn't he? Regularly plays. 377 appearances at the club, 175 in the Premier League, which is a record. Reliable player. But you're disagreeing. You're going with someone else.
I do disagree. I have gone for another centre-back, but I think a better option, and that is Chalobah from Chelsea.
I love this shout.
I think he's a quality footballer, and the problem he has at the moment is Chelsea have a ridiculous amount of good quality centre-backs, and they're looking at getting Maguire in potentially as well.
Or for Fana.
I think he's young. I think he's very mature from what I've seen on the pitch. He's got that kind of, and I know you're saying with Dunk being a bit older and having that leadership instinct, I think even at a young age, he could help provide that for Villa. A quality footballer.
Played 20 times in the Premier League last season. I think people forget that.
And I think I've seen reports that Chelsea are willing to kind of let him leave on loan, if they can get that Fofana deal done. So
that's actually quite good. I'm not quite annoyed by that.
Yeah,
I guess the element of it being a loan move with Diego Carlos, you've spent all that money on the guy. You're going to want to bring him back in. yeah, okay, I've made a mistake there.
He's conceding defeat. Okay, put him up.
Pi, you're up.
1-1 so far.
Really like that shout. It's a really good shout.
Pi.
Okay, let's move on next. I think we've got Bournemouth. We've got Bournemouth.
I've got one. Honestly.
Okay, that's it now. No more.
He's coming out like, oh, he's won 72% of areas. I'm thinking, how does he get these stats? He knows everything.
He's wearing an earpiece. He's not.
No one's going to know if he's wrong.
Let's go to Bournemouth next then. What are the two suggestions we've got for Bournemouth?
So I went for Brozier as a striker. I kind of thought really for Bournemouth, and I don't mean this is any disrespect to Bournemouth fans, but I don't think they're going to have the strongest of seasons this year, just based on the quality of squad and the way the Prem is. I just thought if they're going to have a chance to try and nick points here and there, they might need goals. I know they've got, and I did mention should I say sived down when I said about Kiefer Moore being their striker. People were like, he's class. I thought, well, they might need someone that he's got Premier League experience for Southampton last year. And I thought Chelsea would be willing to maybe let him go on loan for a season in the Prem.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see whether they do let him go on loan, whether they get a striker through the door. Who are you suggesting?
So I'm going for someone who's, what's the word? He's sort of ambi-full-backstress. He can play right back or
that is a new one. Lock that in.
So
you mean versatile, basically?
Yeah.
It's the Aaron Hickey effect.
Yes. So I think, first of all, they don't need another striker. They've got two up top in Kiefer Moore and Solanke. If you get Brozier as well, then you've got one of those two who is quite possibly, in my eyes, someone who is definitely Premier League quality in Solanke and Kiefer Moore. And they want to go long as well to those two, and they'll be on the bench. So you need to sort of fill areas with players that can be Premier League quality. I know you might remember him from 2 seasons ago. He was at Fulham and he played right back that whole season. Was very, very competent for them. He's actually at Torino, and last year he played left back for the whole season as well. So you've got someone who can play on both sides, has played in the Premier League, consistent, came through the Chelsea academy as well. I think it's someone that no one would have thought of, and this is one of my favourite shouts. I've got to be honest. I think this is a really, really good one, and there's no way you can pick that one over.
Wait, but I'm shocked that you think that 2 strikers though is enough for Bournemouth. Like, you're saying they've got 2 strikers. That's
if you can have one player, we're talking about one player to help that squad. That's not the area.
I disagree. I think they need goals. I think they need goals because when they're playing games against teams that are down there, they're going to need to nick points.
But they're not going to play 3 up front.
No, but they need to play 1 up top, but Brozier has scored goals in the Prem and he knows how to do it.
Okay, the final thing is there's no way you're getting Brozier because if he's going to go out on loan, he's going to go to Newcastle or he's going to go to Everton or he's going to go to someone else. He's going to go. There's no way he goes to Bournemouth.
I feel like we have to go with James' prediction because he might walk out of the studio. I do think it's a realistic shout. It's a good shout as well. There was some good research put into it, so we'll give James that one based on the fact that I think he'll cry if we don't let him put up.
You're always winning because you've got longer arms.
Bournemouth fullbacks. What about Adam Smith? You're doing him a disservice. My favourite player in the league. Anyway, moving on. Brentford next. Once again, you've disagreed on Brentford.
Yeah. I went for Maitland-Niles. Now, I want to give a shout out to the Twitch stream because this was a very good shout from them. Yeah, I've got to give I had to get a little bit of a hand, but they did come up with this because we were kind of looking at what position we thought they might need, and CDM and right back were 2 spots, and he can play both, which is why we thought, as you said, about versatility.
Yeah. It's a really good shout.
I think that's a good shout as well because I think he's someone that Arsenal could look to loan out anyway, and we've seen him loan to other clubs in the past. So I think that's a good shout.
Yeah, that is a good shout. So I was looking at it in terms of the balance of Brentford and what's so important to them, and I felt like they needed a bit of this is a bit realistic and a bit boring, but they needed a backup fullback, and so Jerome Roussillon plays for Wolfsburg. Yeah, he's kind of, he's not going to be the first choice for them now. 29, I think, and will sort of come in and can play on the left-hand side. And Rico Henry's so important for Brentford. You've got Aaron Hickey, who is ambifull, whatever that word was, as well, so he can play on both sides, but the way Brentford are playing this year, it really is about their fullbacks in a big, big way. So if you lose someone like Rico Henry, you need someone to be a backup. It's not.
I do like the versatility of Maitland-Niles, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you've got Justice Silva.
I think the versatility of Maitland-Niles is good, and we've seen him loaned out from Arsenal to Rome and did West Brom as well. So I think that's a good shout.
Thank you.
Let's go with Ainsley Maitland-Niles.
Let's go on to the next one then, because the next one I think requires no debate, because one of the shouts is the most outrageous shouts I've ever seen.
Yeah, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, I will, because you've put Brozovic to Brighton.
Absolutely.
Brozovic to Brighton.
Yeah. Look, it was realistic, but I thought with a hint of maybe crazy. No, I thought realistic with a hint of maybe craziness. They've lost Basuma. They are a quality side. And I'm a massive Graham Potter fan. They play ridiculous quality football. I think they're massively undervalued as a team with the football they play. They're not a tiny club. And no, he's 29. It's not like he's that young.
Yeah, but we're talking about like one of the world's most elite centre mids.
He's incredibly good. But I don't know if our opinion of how good he is though is the same, because I don't think he's.
Well, let's see James' suggestion to put the levels around.
What a moment this is, where Connor Roberts is going to be the choice over Brozovic. You know, nothing against Connor Roberts. I've obviously put him forward. I love Lamptey, but he can get injured at times. And so I think if you'd put forward a striker, I might have struggled to argue with that, because I think they often. The amount of videos and the amount of strikers I've put forward for Brighton. But Connor Roberts, I think, obviously he's at Burnley at this moment in time, moved back into the Premier League, great stamina, great player for them. And I could have said anyone, because Brozovic
James,
is
I can stop you there. Put him on the board.
Yeah,
You don't need to say any more. There we go. Done. We move on to
I'm
line
sorry,
two.
Brighton fans,
we
I tried.
Chelsea.
I tried.
Now, Chelsea, interesting debate here, because one of you's gone with the player that, as of last night, we saw on Sky Sports News, breaking news, looks like it's close to being done, isn't it, for Fofana to Chelsea, for huge money as well. So one of you've gone for Fofana.
I've gone for Fofana, yeah.
And you've gone Aubameyang, again, another player. I mean, this is two players that we could see in Chelsea shirts by the end of the transfer window. So go on, explain why you think defence is more important and why you think strikers is more important for Chelsea.
Well, I think that is still a great shout. So I do think Aubameyang is also a great shout. I just think Chelsea, in terms of the middle, I mean, they've got Kovacic, ridiculous passer of the ball, sort of going forward. I highly rate Mason Mount, again, going forward. But when it comes to that sort of holding role, I love N'Golo Kante, and I thought he was fantastic when they played.
Injured as well now, N'Golo Kante.
And he is getting older, and I think...
Well, you think his distribution from centre-backs a bit better?
Yeah, I think because the way Tuchel plays Kante, he plays him a lot more central as that sort of box-to-box, as opposed to just a holding midfielder, and I think that's what Fofana will...
Do you think he'll play in midfield,
Yeah, I think... As in ever so slightly just in front. He might do. It depends on the Maguire situation, though, because Chelsea play the back three.
I think he'll play on the right-hand side of a back three. Is that and allow Reece James to go back out to that wing-back role if they manage to get hold of him. Who are you going for Aubameyang?
So if it's one player, the reason I love Fofana, I think he'd be a great buy for them, but I think he doesn't cost any more and possibly costs less if you buy him next summer. Because he's got such a long contract.
But they don't have enough centre-backs there.
Hang on a minute. We've got Chalobah over here.
We've
got Azpilicueta.
We've
got Azpilicueta, who's just signed a new contract as well. Who also plays in that position, or Reece James as well. So I think Aubameyang and a striker is what's needed right now. Ooh. And what I like about him is that he will play as an advanced forward and he will stretch the play, which will give so much more space to Mount, Havertz.
I have to say,
Sterling will look better. They need a striker.
I'm airy on the side because it looks like it's actually happening.
Yeah. And to be fair to Pi as well, we asked for this list prior to it being done. So let's put Pi on there to be fair to Pi. We did this prior to knowing.
We're going to have to rattle through a few of these. Let's rattle through a few of these because we're running a bit behind. So let's go through Palace quickly.
Yeah, go on.
Who
Quickly,
we got?
I went for Wan-Bissaka.
Oh.
Back to
Palace.
Yeah,
the return.
Back to Palace.
I like that.
Yeah, I know that we've got Klein there, but I thought, is he that happy at Man United? I'm not sure whether...
I think United would be willing to let him go.
I think he's still only 24.
Yeah, he is.
Which is incredible.
Who are you suggesting, both?
I'm happy to concede this one.
Great.
Time is an issue because Florian Neuhaus is a bit niche. He's an 8, and actually they do need a right back as well, so it would be a good shout. Premier League.
Good shout that though. I like that from James. But we've gone with Wan-Bissaka. Let's move on to Everton again. We'll have to rattle through a few of these because time is against us slightly.
Yeah, I went for Diaz from Blackburn. A bit of an out there shout, but I thought as someone that's absolutely like tearing it up in the Championship.
Definitely.
Considering Everton probably
still only 23.
Losing Richarlison, need a few more players going forward. I thought he might fit the bill.
Him and Neil Maupay up front for Everton.
His goals to game since he changed from Ben Brereton to Ben Brereton Diaz is incredible, by the way. Because since he went from Ben Brereton to Ben Brereton Diaz, he's a goal machine, by the way. Just wanted to get that out there. Who have you gone with, James?
The striker position is the key area. Moussa Dembele for me. I think we're going to get him. Scored 21 goals, 26 years old. Last year of his contract, and he's just turned down a contract. Go get him.
Yeah, I like Moussa Dembele. I think Moussa Dembele would be immense for Everton. I could get Moussa.
Giving him that one? Okay.
Next up, then, we're moving on to Fulham. Another shout incoming from Pie here that's definitely going to get the YouTube comments juiced up.
Now, I've got... This is the Twitch chat's fault, okay? Right, Maguire. Now, this was the...
Man United captain Harry Maguire to Fulham.
This was the Twitch chat's fault. It was... I did check, can I be a bit outlandish with a few of these shouts? It was just, I thought they
Say that again.
Well, they needed a centre-back. And he is a centre-back.
Is that the level you think Maguire is at?
I like Harry Maguire, I do. But they need a centre-back. I thought a centre-back that necessarily isn't the happiest or they're not happiest with. Put down Maguire. I know it's a bit crazy.
It's a brave shout because I think he could play at a much higher level than Fulham. I just don't think it's quite working at Man United right now. But, you know, Chelsea in a back three potentially or somewhere that's playing a back three.
It's never going to happen, is it, Maguire to Fulham?
I think that's optimistic. You're a tap in here, James.
OK, all right. James Garner, right club, wrong player. James Garner, amazing for Forest last year, combative midfield, but great on the ball as well. Put him in that double pivot with Polina. You got yourself a really lovely midfield.
Good shout. I like that a lot.
Yeah, Jimmy Garner
last season.
Let's get Jimmy Garner up there.
Let's move on then to Leeds.
Ooh, some great shouts here. Very
some interesting ones.
Yeah, I've gone for a player I actually like, which is Region.
Yeah.
I was shocked that he's not necessarily favoured, like with Spurs.
Do you know what? It's interesting you said that actually, because the Spurs fans he does split opinion a bit, doesn't he? Because he did play really well when he started.
Yeah.
But obviously there's a lot of competition for places in that position. Heavily linked with Atletico Madrid. There's been other clubs like Fulham, Lazio that looked at him as well. Why Leeds for you?
Well, I think he would suit the Prem. And I like the way Leeds look good this season.
They do.
Where they're playing football.
Yeah.
I was just sort of thinking position-wise that they could strengthen. I thought left back. It kind of the way that sort of attacking.
I agree.
Football they play, I think he'd suit their system.
With Firpo, like in and out of the team, obviously Stuart Dallas with that broken femur.
Started well, haven't they, Leeds?
Yeah, I mean they're playing like Pascal Struijk is like an auxiliary left back, so I think there's definitely a hole there potentially.
Yeah, these are the two areas. So I've gone for a striker. I've gone for Andre Silva from Leipzig. Left back is a good shout because of what you just said there, Joe. But Struijk has started the season really well. And Christensen on the other side loves to bomb on, so it gives you that little bit of protection. But I've gone with Andre Silva. I think this could be a cheeky little loan move, quite possibly. Werner's just come in to Leipzig. Jesse Marsch has worked with him. He knows how to play that style of play as well. You could maybe get him on loan. And if you did, I think the reason I went with the strikers is they really need a striker because Bamford struggles to stay fit.
What about Rodrigo's in mad form and Geldhart as well?
He's in mad form, but I don't think that could continue for too long. And he also is just not an out-and-out striker. And I think that's what you need with Andre Silva.
I think that's a good shout as well. I think it looks like Region is going elsewhere, doesn't it? Heavily linked with other clubs, Atletico in particular. So should we give James this one?
Yeah, we'll give James that one.
Both good
shouts. Rogue shout, I like it. Let's move on then to Leicester up next.
I've gone for Dubravka for Leicester.
Really interesting shout.
This was before the strong Man United
but they need a keeper.
Linkage. But yeah, I think they do need a keeper. I know they've got Ward, but I think they do with losing. But I was shocked that Schmeichel went, to be honest. I
Big
thought
loss,
he would.
Schmeichel, isn't it, for them?
I thought he would have been one of them sort of, you know, like one club type players. I was shocked they went, but I thought available. He's got Premier League experience. You know, good quality goalkeeper.
He's a good keeper as well, Dubravka. But had a good few seasons at Newcastle. Who are you suggesting, Jabba?
I think that definitely would be an upgrade. I just think they desperately need a right winger. They didn't get Lookman. This is Chukwueze from Villarreal, who was an absolute legend for my Football Manager series.
Before he got dropped for Jeremy Pina.
Did he? Oh, no, sorry, no, I'm talking about my Football Manager series.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm talking about real life.
I was talking about real life football there for a minute.
Yeah, cracking player, proper right winger. I'd love to show you his heat map because he would just be perfect for Leicester City. It would outstretch him.
Do you feel like goalkeeper is a position they need more?
I think that they haven't bought a goalkeeper replacement for Schmeichel yet. Has really surprised me. So let's go for Dubravka right now. Let's fly through.
Next up, Liverpool. Interesting one. We've got a player. One of you's got the first player we've had twice. James, go on.
Yes, Tonali. We were talking about him earlier. There's no way he goes to Arsenal because it's that Europa League. But with Liverpool, I think there's very few teams that can get him. I think it's Man City, it's Real Madrid, it's Liverpool.
Just the elite clubs.
He would be amazing at Liverpool. And I think now's the moment where you could probably go and get him. You have to move quick because he's going to sign that new contract. It looks like on even more improved situation. But as an 8 for them, he's one of the best in the world. He'd be unbelievable.
I doubt it's going to happen in this window, naturally. But Bellingham was my shout for Liverpool. I think it's the player
that would not be cheap, would it?
No, it would be stupid money. But I think it's the player that they're sort of screaming out for, and I think it's the right natural natural transfer for him. I mean, I want to see him in the Prem. He's so good. He's so good.
A lot of people have touted Bellingham.
I just think because it's not going to happen this summer. I think like Tonali, you might be able to do some madness, but I just think that Bellingham would be 150 mil. So there's 5 days left.
You would have got him by now, wouldn't you?
I think let's go for Tonali now.
Yeah.
Just because Bellingham. You know, what's going on with the placement here, Jimbo?
I'm
just not having it, mate.
I can't remove it. There we go.
Let's go to Man City next then. What have we got?
Ooh, City.
Yeah, I went.
Interesting shout from
I went
Just seen you've gone for.
Yeah, I went for Kieran Tierney. I kind of feel like he's versatile, but I know naturally a left back can play in the centre for Scotland if needed. Can play in centre back. Losinchenko. I know obviously they have Cancelo, absolute world class, best in the world there.
Injuries though.
What I'm thinking, I know he has got, but I'm thinking more in terms of having sort of versatile cover for those roles at the back. You could always move Cancelo to right back if Walker can't play there, and then play KT at left back. I think he offers a lot. I think he's a quality player. When he's fit, I think he's fantastic.
Can't see Arsenal selling him though, can you?
It'd be a big move.
Yeah.
What are your suggestions, Jimbo?
I've gone for Barella, which I guess is a bit of a push as well, but for Gundogan's in his last year of his contract, I think. So if you're being like proactive, Barella's amazing, would be fantastic for them both, pressing high, but also kind of getting in the box and scoring goals. And Tierney, the injury thing, you got 60 games in the season. I know they don't all play 60 games, but I'd be amazed if that happened. This would be outrageous as well, but it's Man City that can do that.
It feels like Man City just aren't going to sign anyone. Do you know what I mean?
No,
it's almost like they leave
like
both
that.
of them off the ball.
I can't see that happening though.
I can't see that happening either.
No, neither can I. What are we doing?
Which one do you like more?
Toss of a coin.
They don't need any midfielders, do they? Let's be honest. They've got enough midfielders.
Do you know what?
the squad.
Let's just put Tierney out. I know.
Yes.
There we go.
They needed a left back.
Right, let's move on to Man United.
Say Lavey.
Joe's looking at this with vested interest.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Go on, James, you go.
Go get yourself a striker, maybe a cheeky swap deal. Victor Osimhen.
Has been touted, hasn't
Napoli.
it?
Yes,
Yeah.
23 years old. I like him a lot as a proper striker.
Yeah.
I think it's 14 goals last year, maybe 11 the year before. I just think he'd be a great player for Man United regardless, but with Napoli playing in the Champions League and you're trying to resolve the Ronaldo situation, could you maybe swap them?
Yeah, I just love Osimhen.
I went for Ruben Neves, and now the
Nice
reason
player.
the
Like
reason I
Ruben
went
Neves.
for it was I thought more realistic in terms of what they can actually get in now and what can improve their squad right now. I think they need another centre mid. I was having a look through the squad list, and it's so
Very
thin.
tidy player, Neves, isn't he? Yeah.
Once again, Prem experience, knows what to do.
It's too late. You've bought Casemiro.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they're
too
not the
late,
same
Jack.
player.
United
They're not the same player.
desperate for a striker.
They're both assist. They're
Desperate for a
both-
striker.
I
Yeah.
think it's only fair as the United fan.
I would go for Victor Osimhen. If
Maybe.
you could get him,
Come on.
if you could get him, then I think you should get him.
Great
Let's
goals
go
to game as well. 30
Let's go
goals
to
in
Newcastle,
64
shall we?
appearances for Napoli. Yeah, go on.
Another
Newcastle.
outlandish shout here coming in from
See,
Pi.
I don't think I think this one isn't that outlandish as you think.
Hernandez.
Now I've said,
Wow.
and I'll tell you why I've said Teo Hernandez is that Newcastle have got money now, and they also are building that squad that they're going to want going forward. He is obviously very out there because he's a crazily good player. But they've got the money. I mean, just spent 70 million on Isak up front.
Yeah, big money.
And I'm thinking of positions that they say importantly could do with. I think left back.
Have already bought my target in this window.
No,
though.
I know they have got target, but I think let's be honest.
Disrespect to
James,
the
you go.
target.
Jimbo,
no.
here you go.
Disrespect to
And
target.
it's-
One of our
it's-
greatest left backs.
I think it's a crazy shout, but I'm just thinking, money-wise, what they've got and what they're going to do, and they look very good.
James, you've got to push on. Who you
Okay,
got with?
mine is a bit outrageous, but just think about this for a second. Open your mind. Zaha on the left. Alan St.
So
Maximin
Maxwell
on the right.
That would be scary, wouldn't
Come
it?
on!
That would
Do you know what?
scary.
Put it on just for that, because I love that, yeah. Well, let's rattle through
The
a
next
few
one
now.
we may as well not even bother doing because
No.
Pi has just got a blank silhouette in this row. They've
Too
signed
many.
too
Yeah,
many.
I said
Go
no
on.
more,
So
please.
put him
So
on.
let's just
Alright.
put Mario Mosa up on the board.
Okay.
Don't even need to bother arguing it.
There we go,
to be
done.
honest with you, at this stage.
Straight up, I think they've signed too many. Next up, Southampton.
Joel Perreault, I think they need another striker. Don't have the
they do.
depth
Shout,
there.
yeah.
Scored 22, I think, last year for Swansea. Scored some great goals as well.
Yeah.
I think someone needs to get him quickly, and I think Southampton will be a really, really
Scored
good
some
fit.
belters, didn't he?
Scored some belters,
Last
yeah.
season. Who you gone with?
I went for a strike. I went for Immobile.
Immobile?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Scores goals in Italy. And I think he's the type of striker they like. A sort of a bit of a hold-up, proper, number 9 style striker. I think would suit well with.
I would love to see it.
I mean,
But
151
like-
goals and 210 league appearances to Lazio. I can't see him leaving.
Can't see it.
I can't see that.
I think Joel Perreault is more.
I think Joel Perreault's a good
is a
shout.
more-
I just can't
Sorry,
see
more
James.
realistic.
It's fine, you can have the. I'm happy to get a few on the
Spurs,
board.
come on. This is a
Yes.
one that I'm listening to.
I went
with
Goretzka,
open ears.
Smithy.
Leon Goretzka.
Yeah.
Wow.
You are a real big Spurs fan if you think that's possible.
You don't think there's a chance
Not
that
in a million years does Goretzka lead
Less disrespect on Spurs.
a guaranteed Premier League title, a deep run in the Champions League, a guaranteed cup.
He might want a challenge. He might want a new challenge. It must get boring at Bayern winning everything.
I mean, Casemiro did.
Never say never. You think of that? Go on, James.
Brozovic, we spoke about him earlier. This is the better fit.
Knows Conte, the notes of the world.
Yeah, exactly. That would be a great fit for him there. And also, I think that Chelsea game, they actually struggled to have that guy there. I thought Bentancur was that guy, but Brozovic is just, he has so much time on the ball. Yeah, he's amazing. Fits the system that they're kind of moving towards. He would be fantastic.
I think that's probably more realistic, and of course the relationship that exists. So let's go with Brozovic, and last two, should rattle through the last two clubs. So let's see, you've gone for West Ham and Wolves together, and then we'll.
Ironically, I went for a Wolves player. I went for Raul Jimenez.
Wow.
I know they've signed Scamacca. I think it's pronounced striker-wise.
Yeah.
And I do like Antonio, but I think sometimes he does go on droughts, and they need maybe goals coming from someone. I was just looking at the rest of their squad.
Yeah.
And positions they need, and I thought striker, EPL experience.
Because you've got those two strikers, I don't feel like you need another striker. I've gone for Hassam Aouar.
You've gone for the wrong Lyon player. Because they're signing Paqueta.
No, well then why not sign them both? He would knit it together brilliantly. I think he was in the top 3% for pass completion.
What do you reckon?
Well, I feel bad on Pike, 'cause I feel like we've all got James here.
Let's
get Houston out.
Okay, last one then. Wolves.
I just jokingly chose a Portuguese player because I thought if it's Portuguese they'll sign him. I put Rafa from Benfica.
Yeah.
To be fair, if he's Portuguese, there's a half chance.
I really like Rafa
tricky
Silva.
attacking player.
Yeah, I really like Rafa
He tears
Silva.
it up in the Portuguese league.
Is that Iheanacho you've got? Iheanacho, they do need another striker. They need a striker, full stop, at the moment with Jimenez injured. Can score goals, and I think they've got enough diminutive Portuguese attacking midfielders, in my opinion.
Podence.
He's not Portuguese, they're still
I
signing
personally
him.
think Leicester, are they going to lose many more players? I can't see them letting Iheanacho go. I think we should give one to Pye.
Yes.
Not sure about how they've done this here, but there is
Yeah.
confirmation of the Saturday Social whiteboard. One player that James and Pye think each club should sign before the end of the window. It'll be interesting to see how many of them actually sign. How many do you think?
13 for James, 7 for Pye.
Wow.
By the way.
You counted well.
7, I'll take that.
Time
I'm
for
happy
a
with
quick
7.
break.